out.
Okay, we are now live. Welcome everybody to the Crypto Trader News first and ever podcast episode.
Wait, are we calling it podcast? Are we calling it Roundtable? We gotta be consistent.
Gosh, now see how we screwed it up?
Already.
Yeah, Tony, it had to be you. Okay.
Hey,
everybody.
You need to like study
Welcome.
the show, the show formats and stuff.
I mean, it's just a good example to show people that we're going to be very natural and spontaneous here. Just like nothing scripted. I mean, so I think it's important to note that every roundtable discussion is probably going to be themed around a specific idea or concept that's happening. So for example, Bitcoin just dropped 10% in a matter of like an hour and a half. But the overall, like there's no script. Like I don't really have a script aside from the overall theme that I want to talk about. Except for this roundtable though, I don't really have a main topic because I just thought it would be cool to do some intros and just discuss what Q4 is going to look like in terms of market price and the overall crypto market.
Okay, so is this actually going on now, or is this preparatory and we're going to start over? And
no, man, this is
the real thing. This is the real roundtable right now.
You can edit all this out. Cut.
Oh, I'm not editing anything out. This is like
this is
us.
Okay, this is forever. Okay, so let's go through the topics as we don't want this to be for a 50-minute video. So today Bitcoin crashed. Looks pretty dull and drizzly out. Maybe autumn is here. Is this the beginning of a new crypto winter?
Go ahead, Matt.
I was just wondering, do y'all think it has anything to do with the Financial Services Committee and Zuckerberg today?
I think it has everything to do with the Financial Services Committee meeting. Yeah, I think so.
I mean, it's too much of a coincidence, isn't it? I mean, come on, like 2 hours before before Zuckerberg sits in front of Congress, Bitcoin just suddenly starts crashing. I mean, it's like, I don't know, out of the blue,
But Zuckerberg is talking about free speech instead of Libra, right?
No, he's talking about Libra.
It's a mixture. It's a mixture.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he's getting all sorts of questions. I mean, and just to put people into context, Zuckerberg is in Congress as we are speaking here.
Right, yeah. I need to go ahead and look into that after this.
But there's probably more people listening to us than him, so let's just keep going.
Right.
There wasn't many.
But at least more smart, intelligent people are listening to us, right?
Right.
And you notice everybody's in the red this morning. Bitcoin's had the biggest drop by far, but everybody was in the red this morning. And then everybody on the Financial Service Committee, they're coming at this hard. I mean, they're already, Dennis and I were discussing it this morning, they're already having that negative aspect to it, to where they are coming at this not trying to learn anything. It's just like they're just trying to put it down from the beginning, the word go.
Oh, Libra?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
they're not even willing to give Libra a chance. Now, so this is actually a good time for me to ask you the first question. Is it Congress or the US government or whoever you want to call it not giving Libra a chance because of the whole cryptocurrency concept, or is it because it's Facebook Libra? That's the first question.
Well, my first question would be the other way around, would be to say, what about, who cares? I mean, can Congress stop it even if they want to? I mean, couldn't Facebook just launch Libra anyway and do whatever the hell they want? I mean, that's a blockchain can't be stopped, right?
Okay, so that actually leads me to ask you something else. Hold on. If that's the case, and Facebook couldn't care less about what Congress says, and I mean, it really is it's a blockchain initiative. They don't really need anyone's approval. They could just say, screw it, we're gonna do this anyways. Why the hell is Zuckerberg sitting in Congress putting up with all of these freaking dinosaurs being an asshole with him. Well, like, why is he doing it?
I don't think that has anything to do with the blockchain initiative, though. I mean, I think Libra is kind of getting the, excuse the language, but shit end of the stick because it's a Facebook initiative, even though it's supposed to be independent. I think their problem has been that everybody kind of shilling in the news how, you know, one voice is being censored and all that stuff. And I think it comes from that more than cryptocurrency.
So essentially what you're saying is that it's not that Libra, it's not that they're against Libra, it's that it's Facebook managing Libra.
Well, honestly, I think the United States is kind of against cryptocurrency as it is. I mean, if you looked at the news, Polynex is going to stop serving United States clients.
Right.
But pretty much every exchange. I mean, Binance isn't even serving US clients anymore.
Yeah, I mean, they're supposed to have a US division, but I don't know if that's launched yet. But Polynex is closing. So I think the United States itself is kind of getting closed off to the idea of cryptocurrency. And I think right now with all the stuff in Congress, I think it's more about censorship and Facebook's targeting advertising and you know, the privacy issues. And I think unfortunately Libra is kind of tied into it because of that Facebook connection, but I don't think it has anything to do with Libra itself, cryptocurrency. Unfortunately, it has that Facebook tie. And in my opinion, if they had just quietly got their supporters and their investors and just gone off into Switzerland and did their thing, I don't think anybody would have been wiser.
It's like you were watching it this morning, Meredith, because that was some of the exact points that one of the congresswomen brought up was the tie between Facebook and Libra. And I think that's a big area where Zuckerberg is dropping the ball. Is he tried to say, well, we're associated with Libra, but we're separate.
Yeah.
But he's not getting that message across. And Facebook being the name behind this, and already so much hatred going on towards Facebook from the right, mainly, of course, because they're saying they're being censored every which way they turn on platforms. So they're already going in that way and having Facebook's name behind it. And then on top of that, you got the SEC going after cryptocurrencies left and right. Everybody stepping up against crypto at this point when it's been quiet all along. And so now I think that's why we saw all the names pull out this last week. And I think it is that combination that they already have that preconceived notion against Facebook and against cryptocurrency. They're not going to listen to anything Zuckerberg has to say at this point. And that's why I don't. And then he said this morning that he's not going to move forward unless regulators give it 100%. Well, that's telling us right now, Libra's not coming because they're never
not happening.
100%.
I mean,
I think it's. Yeah,
go
I think it's
ahead,
that.
Alan.
Yeah, I think it's that. It's controlled by. It's a basket of currencies controlled by a large private corporation that has. It has a user base larger than many countries in the whole world. So all those factors combined together, it's like that's a significant threat.
I mean, Facebook has a larger user base than all countries individually in the world except China, I think. Maybe China and India.
Right, exactly.
I mean, I don't think, there's any question about that. I mean,
it's literally, if you combine everyone in North America and everyone in Europe, I don't think it adds up to the total amount of people on Facebook. I mean, that's a lot of people. That is a lot of people. That's enough people to.
But that's what we've been wanting.
1.7 billion Facebook users or something crazy like that.
But isn't mass adoption what we've all been wanting? Isn't that awesome? I mean, I'm not really keen on it being, making Zuckerberg richer. I mean, I think he's probably rich enough as it is, but we're looking for mass adoption for cryptocurrencies and blockchain, right? So we should all be hoping that, that he does it right and he does it well. and that he has competition so that doesn't end up being the only one doing it.
Well, he needs to definitely have a professional blockchain experts with him when he does this stuff that can answer these questions, because he's just clouding the waters more. I mean, this is what, the third time he's went in front of one of these committees, and they're still no clearer on what Libra's plans are, that they're separated from Facebook. And like Tony and I was talking with somebody this morning, we were fully expecting the questions, you know, what is blockchain or what is cryptocurrency? You know, it's, they're not getting any clearer as the time goes on. And so he's not changing any opinions. He's not educating anybody along the way. And as long as he keeps being the face of it, it's not going to change anything. And you're right. I was so hopeful for this. I'm going, finally, we're going to start seeing some mainstream adoption of cryptocurrency. We're going to see the mom and pop stores start to be able to accept cryptocurrency. And this is going to be the key that helps propel the whole thing forward. But now it's not looking that way.
Yeah, unfortunately, if this hearing was going to be about Libra, he definitely never should have shown up, because he is the face of Facebook.
Right.
He should not be the face of Libra if they're trying to promote that as an individual, independent cryptocurrency project. And frankly, who knows how much he even knows about blockchain? I mean, right. To him, it could be a shiny new thing, and he just has no idea. So I think it was a big mistake for him to even show up. And I haven't watched any of it, so I don't know what's going on or what kind of questions they're asking him. But if it's around blockchain and cryptocurrency, he should never have stepped foot in
So yeah, but here's the problem. So the head of Libra is actually David Marcus, who is actually the ex-CEO of PayPal, and he's managing the whole Libra thing. It's not actually Zuckerberg. And he went actually and testified in front of Congress. So what, you know, he did exactly what Zuckerberg is doing today. And Congress was just like, no, this has Mark Zuckerberg written all over its place. We don't want you. We want Mark Zuckerberg in here. And so, I mean, that's pretty much the main reason why Zuckerberg is even here today. It's because they're not taking anything from anyone who's not Mark Zuckerberg. But the thing is, they can't stand Mark Zuckerberg. They hate him. I mean, it's like with every single question he gets asked, it's like, I don't know. I sense this feeling of hate towards him from every single congressman and every single congresswoman. So
I don't know. You know, he's a good enemy now, though.
Well, I mean, yeah,
he's earned his place. He's earned his place as the villain. I mean, Facebook earned the election problems in 2016. They've got problems with all of the scandals with the privacy and selling the data. And you know, the truth is, we're the products. I mean, you know, and I've said this recently on quite a few interviews I've done, is, you know, when was the last time, Meredith, Zuckerberg sent you a check for sharing a puppy picture on Facebook, right?
Yeah, I wish.
Me too, right? But he sure makes money off of your puppy pictures, doesn't he? Mm-hmm. So, you know, that's there's some fundamental issues there that I think are what are driving the sort of that feeling that you have, Tony. I mean, Zuckerberg he's earned some stripes. He kind of deserves to be in the hot seat for a bit.
So do you think that? Go ahead, Matt.
I was just going to say he should have shown up with the head of Libra and deferred those questions to him.
Yes,
sure.
Madam Chairwoman or Madam Congresswoman, or, you know, whatever. That question is more for him, and then turned it and let him be the face of Libra, and kept doing that with every single question when it came to Libra and the blockchain. You know, yes, Facebook is involved, but this is the man that is behind Libra. He's the one that has the ball here. And keep putting Zuckerberg's face on this is, you know, just like Tony was saying, it's setting it up just to be abused, just to let Zuck come in there and get smacked around for an hour or two.
That's true.
My question was, do you think that Libra is dead, or do you think that they're going to do their best to cut all ties to Zuckerberg and Facebook and rebrand.
So I don't think it's dead. I think that there's right now it's the biggest issue is that it's a basket of currencies. So what they might just do is start chopping it up and having different stable coins like Binance and other people have been doing. So it's less fearful. So they have it by region, and then they can do the cross conversions like Wells Fargo and a couple other banking giants are trying to do. So they might have to water it down significantly, but they will be able to, they most likely will be able to do something to where similar to other crypto-focused companies like Binance and a variety of other people have, already done successfully. So the big issue is the fact that it's a basket of currency. So nations.
Can you explain exactly what you mean with a basket of currencies?
So the big deal is that Facebook is using the
it's US dollar, it's euro, it's like Libra is being
right.
backed by a whole different
right
set of currencies.
So then you with that type of weight you can do, you're putting all that control into a private corporation. They could mess up monetary policy for these countries possibly. So that's the issue. Whereas with these other guys, they're just saying, hey, we're going to have individual stable coins for each country, and we're just using it as a future forward way of processing payments. That's why you have IBM and Stellar, and you have all these different examples of people who have successfully done it without catching any flack from the regulators. So it's not the fact that you can't do it. It's just what you're proposing right now is a little too out there, and it's affecting everybody from Europe to the U.S. And even if you have your nonprofit in Geneva, it doesn't matter. You have to go ahead and water it down. And then
wouldn't that defeat the purpose of Libra? I mean, their whole goal is to have a global currency that you can use anywhere and that you can send to anyone just by having Facebook Messenger installed or WhatsApp or whatever they implement with. If they just start launching stable coins, I mean, they're just going to be launching more altcoins, right? I mean, there's not going to be any difference. They kind of like, it's like it's not that big of a deal anymore.
Yeah, I think you'd still be able to get to the ultimate vision, because you can do like how you do it in the banking system, like Wells Fargo and all these other people who are trying to launch their own smaller versions of Swift. So I think you can have that with Facebook over time, where you have seamless transactions and integrated into WhatsApp and Messenger and whatnot. But starting it out with this big, huge, picture as it is right now, it's not flying. I mean, what else is there to say about it, right? It's not flying in this current form. So they're going to have to chop it up and then aggregate back again.
I think that.
Go ahead, Dennis.
No, Alan, I think you're giving them too much credit, really. I'm sorry, maybe I'm a little bit more cynical than that. I don't think that any of the congressmen there, any of the, I don't think anybody there is really worried about the mechanics of Libra in the least bit. I think this is it's all about Mark Zuckerberg. It's all about the Facebook brand. It's all about the Russian interference in the 2016 elections. It's about the perceived bias of one ideology against other. I think that it's a political question right now. It's not a cryptocurrency blockchain question. Right now, it's really, easy to make Mark Zuckerberg the villain and everybody for Mark, after, let's kick him and see if we can, he's the big boy. Let's see if we can take him down a few notches. And I think I wish it were a more cerebral, thoughtful process that's leading them to question whether this is the best architecture or not. I don't think they're anywhere near there.
Yeah, and I'm coming from a perspective of, I don't think that a global currency would ever work anyway, only because of, the cost of things and trade value and all that stuff, and for me, I'm also looking at it with kind of an emerging technology, which would be like the atomic swaps. If you haven't heard of those, which is really exciting, where you have existing blockchains that you can talk to each other and have kind of like an escrow account that says, hey, I've got 5 EOS and I want to buy an ether from you, and instead of going through the exchanges, exchanging it for whatever token that you want, and then try and do a swap and things like that. I mean, you're doing it yourself, but to have a true peer-to-peer, which I think cryptocurrency purists love, because they don't want government intervention and interference. They don't want those regulations. I mean, that's why cryptocurrency was created in the first place. Get government out of our pocket, So I think all of this stuff, maybe in about 5 or 10 years, I think that's going to be a moot point. I think that the people who are crypto purists are going to find a way to keep government out of their pocket and find a way to stay out from regulation and really go from A to B one way or another.
Yeah, after doing a little research here recently on the decentralized exchanges, I definitely came to the conclusion that the purists are always going to have a way. Crypto is here to stay. They can't get rid of it. And since crypto's here, with having the decentralized exchanges going peer-to-peer, we are going to have that way to send funds wherever we need to. It's just a matter of, what is it going to cost us? What backflips do we have to do? Which some of them that I've seen are just totally easy to use. I mean, you can actually be trading within minutes, like I showed in that recent article I did. You can be sending funds or buying funds completely anonymously within minutes. And I think that we're going to see kind of a split. I think we're going to see the purists going with the decentralized and keeping it that way. And then you're going to have those others that are going to be kind of like the Libra and the mainstream banks that are starting to get into blockchain and crypto, and that there is going to be that oversight and that regulation, but they're going to push this stuff right to the underground. And then there's always going to be that illegal aspect of it, the dark aspect of it, the dark web aspect of it. But I think folks like us that are kind of a hodgepodge, where some of us really do like the decentralized aspect and the anonymous aspect of it. Others of us that want the global impact of blockchain and crypto. And I'm kind of in the middle. I want to see both. But
can they coexist?
That's what I'm wondering. I think we're going to have to, because the culture's already here. The culture's already set. And so I think you're always going to have both cultures, but which one's going to come out on top? Is it going to be, us kind of doing crypto on the side? And yes, it's worth money. Yes, you can change it pretty easily, better than now. But is that going to kill it being able to go completely mainstream?
A lot of good questions there, Matt. A lot of good questions.
Deep, man. Yeah. So actually, I think it was the main chairwoman, she was asking, I'm not sure if you guys remember, but last year, Facebook banned crypto ads on Facebook. And all of a sudden, Facebook wants to launch Libra. And hey, they're okay with crypto ads once again. I mean,
except they're not.
Yeah, except they say they
are. They say they are, but now they're not. So it's kind of like, that's where you get a little of the Facebook hand. It's like, okay, so when it's convenient for them, they're willing to put up with crypto ads. But a year ago, they didn't want anyone listening about crypto on Facebook, and it's like.
No, and that was when everything was hot too. That's when you had
exactly. I mean, I do get that there were a lot of like ICO scams happening at the time and all of that. But
Mhm.
still, it's kind of like a, you know.
And I think in the back of their mind that hypocrisy is there. You know, it's like, why can you do it and you won't let Camp B do it? You know,
Right.
and so there's that issue. I'm gonna go back on mute.
It's a case of do as we say, not as we do, is basically what it is. You know, it's we know best, and so yeah, there's too many scams out here, so we're blocking everything. But trust us, you know. And I think that's where Congress is coming in, going, wait a minute, why should we trust you? Zuckerberg's name is behind this. You know, I'm going to have to go back to Wednesdays are always so screwy for me, but I've got to try to watch the rest of this because he really looked like a deer in headlights several times. And, you know, he's stuttering and everything is, you know, thank you for that question. And while he's trying to stall for time to think, and I don't think he's doing any favors, man.
So here's my question, and I want a yes or no answer. Do we all see each other in the same way? Like,
I don't know. I don't know if it's the same order. Yeah.
Anyways, so we can start with you, Dennis, if you want. Is Facebook Libra launching within the next 5 years? Yes or no?
No.
All right, Meredith, your turn.
I think so, but rebranded.
All right, Matt.
I'm going to have to go with kind of like Meredith. I'm going to say I think so, but not the way we're seeing it right now.
Okay, Alan.
Same, different form, but Libra. Yep.
So
Yep.
I think, but what does rebranded even mean? I mean, like
Pretty much a different form, like I was talking about earlier, where you have.
But that's not rebranding. That's like switching up the whole project pretty much.
Right.
I mean, you're not switching your brand. You're changing the game.
Yeah. So you're gonna have to, it's what do you call it? Different form factor, and then build up from there.
I'm thinking that they're going to come back at this with trying to have the same partners that were in it before.
Right.
And they're going to rename it. It's not even going to be Libra anymore. They're going to try to distance it from Facebook altogether. That yes, Facebook's a partner, but it's a minor partner. And it's no longer Libra because they're going to have to do away with that Libra name. They've already burned it.
And I think that they're also going to maybe market these big firings and rejigging the executive team and all that stuff so that they can separate themselves. And it has that, you know, that mindset of, okay, they broke up, you know, so we can move forward now.
Because I think a big part of the problem on this was the marketing. You know, when this came out, they did try to separate the two, that Libra is a separate entity from Facebook. And those of us that watched the markets and stuff, we understood that. We got that. We knew that there was more to it underlying there, you know, that there was more hands from Facebook in it, but we understood the general concept. The general public did not. They understood it as, oh, Facebook's coming out with one of these cryptocurrencies, and they didn't understand anything else about it except Zuckerberg was behind something new coming out.
All right, so I'm going to answer back, Matt, and I'm going to say I was the only one who said no, and I say that before the 5 years are over, Walmart will bring their own one out, and they will be the winners.
Oh.
What was that?
Mark it on the calendar.
Yep. 5 years, in the next 5 years, Walmart has launched their own currency, and they are they're the ones that are actually going to bring it to market, not the Facebook Libra.
Aren't they already in development with something like that? Because they're already into blockchain. So
Yep.
Now they just need a crypto layer.
That's right.
So, what did you say Walmart for a specific reason, or just because it's Walmart?
Because it's Walmart, because they are actually working on this, and I've heard some rumors out there. So
I mean, but Walmart is not. Walmart doesn't serve in every single country, right? I mean, I know they do like the U.S. and they do Mexico, but do they do anything else?
They've got brands around the world. I mean, maybe they're not as strong, but
Yeah,
they
so
can get there.
This is very interesting, man, because I could definitely see this.
I mean, so okay, but if we start pulling out companies, big companies that might want to launch their own crypto, I mean, I'm sure there's like maybe Disney comes up with its own coin and you can pay for stuff in their theme parks, or discounted movie tickets or something.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think that's where it's
are we going to?
Everybody's going to want a crypto. Everybody's going to want a crypto. It could
Are we
be a vanity.
starting a new stage where every single major company is getting into crypto because they can make a lot of money off crypto?
Yeah, so it's like, where's the value though? It's like, I can see for Wells Fargo, for Walmart, for people who are engaged in commerce and some other aspects, it makes a significant, more substantial sense. But for every single body to have a crypto in some form or fashion is like, where do you accrue value? That's what you're seeing with the ICO tokens. Like, oh, there was a big rush to buy and flip, but who's actually trying to use it to buy services and stuff like that?
And that's what you're going to see with if we see these kind of scenarios where everybody starts popping up, you're just looking at a rewards program, that where you save tokens up and, you get 500 of them and you get $1 off of your ticket or whatever. You're just going to start seeing rewards programs. What I would see, where Dennis has got me thinking about, is with Walmart developing blockchain or doing their inventory on blockchain and looking at a crypto, this could directly be setting them up to be a major competitor with Amazon. If they are going to go bigger online store, they are already pulling in vendors. When you buy stuff from Walmart.com, a lot of the times it comes from a separate vendor, not Walmart itself. And if they're setting up their own blockchain and their own crypto, this could be setting them up to directly compete with a number one Amazon.
And I wouldn't be surprised, piggybacking off of that, I wouldn't be surprised if they're already using some kind of crypto and maybe having a smaller test base with their vendors and major corporate clients and things like that, so that they can test this whole crypto idea. But
I mean, I wouldn't launch, if I were CEO of Walmart, I wouldn't launch my own crypto without testing it out first. That's for sure.
And so you have your alpha base of users, and you're testing it out and seeing how it works and all that stuff, because that layer of blockchain, I think, is just amazing technology to help.
But you're going to see them use it not just in commerce. You're going to see them. They're really interested in healthcare, and they're really interested as well in financial services.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people that would be very convenient to get their money and they get their paycheck directly deposited into their Walmart account. They go into the store, that gives them, you want to, do this, you'll get some Walmart money, whatever it's called. And they could build an amazing ecosystem.
Well, here's the other thing that I wanted to say. The majority of the public has no idea how cryptocurrency works. And so what's to stop someone, let's just say we want a vanity coin, like Disney wants a vanity coin, Walmart wants one, just name any major corporation. What's to stop them from saying, you know what, the under the engine, in the engine under the hood is really XRP, this is really Ripple, but we're just going to put our logo on top of it and use that and use their blockchain. I mean, who's going to know unless you're actually a crypto enthusiast? The main public isn't really going to know.
Right. Even then, go ahead.
Go ahead, Alan.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So even then, if they're just using XRP under the hood or Stellar under the hood, if they're providing a value to the end consumer and they're somehow capturing value off of that, and there's minimal friction and improves experience, well, I mean, what's the problem with that, right?
Yeah, it sounds great to me.
Yeah, I don't see any issues. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
And why reinvent the wheel? You know,
Exactly.
if you've got that technology that's already created, with it, whether it's XRP or whether it's Ether, um, why try to reinvent it? And that's what so many freaking companies are trying to do. Is they're coming in and they're trying to reinvent the wheel when they should be working on, you know, the aerodynamics of the bike or what have you. And so I'm the same way. I don't care what's under the hood. If they improve upon it, fantastic. But what value is it bringing to either A, your customers, or B, the general public in general?
Wow, Matt, thank you. That was great. It just allows me to go right in and say, and behold the cryptopreneurs. I wrote a book about that. No, so yeah, that's really just a shameless plug here in the middle of this. But I agree. It's time for us to solve problems for real people. And you know, the plumbing is plumbing. And, you know, hey, I'm all for great plumbing, but it doesn't make a hell of beans worth of difference if you don't actually provide useful service or value to the people that are using it.
Now, okay, so going off your idea of Walmart coming up with its own coin, are we talking about a stable coin?
Who knows? I don't know. Probably.
I mean, if it would probably have to be a stable coin, right? I mean, if not, I mean, like going off of Matt's argument, like to me, I see no reason why every other company could just launch its own coin, and you know, you can call it a reward system or a point system or, you know, whatever you want to call it. But if Walmart's doing it to compete against Amazon, why couldn't other companies just launch their own coin as well? For the very same reason why Walmart's doing it.
And if they want to and they need help with their marketing, they should give us a call.
Right. But
I mean,
you know, I could definitely see some of the bigger companies profiting from their own coin if it's done right. I've been around the internet since the boom, the bubble, and there was actually a first quote unquote cryptocurrency back in the late 90s. It was called Beans. And it worked like a lot like S&H green stamps, that when you went to a website, if you purchased something or you signed up or you gave your email or what have you, they would give you X amount of these beans. And the way that they marketed it was that they gave millions of them away for free in the beginning. And so they gave us like hundreds of thousands of them because we had so many websites at the time. We gave them out and they had no place for anybody to exchange them. And so you had all this demand. People were out there collecting them over and over and over. Well, I opened up the first store and you had, you know, we sold anything and everything under the sun, mainly anything we could get from Walmart and ship fairly easily. But that was a reward system. They, you know, you could go, there was hundreds of websites. You could go to a mom and pop website and you do something and you get 20 beans or whatever. And then you could come to my site and you'd exchange, you know, 1,000 of them for a CD or what have you. And I'm just throwing numbers out there, but that's the way it worked. And it worked really, really well until the idiots did exactly what I told them not to do. They put a monetary value on it. They started letting these be exchanged for gift cards. And so then nobody wanted product. They just wanted gift cards. And so it completely crashed the whole economy. And it was stupid because I had told them, don't ever do this. And when they had me go to a meeting in New York. And they knew that I was smart because I was the one making the most money from them because of my store. But that reward system like that, my whole reason for going on that tangent was it can be super popular, man. Even if customers are going to Walmart and they say they spend $10 and they get, you know, $1 worth of the crypto, they're going to go nuts because they can collect that up and within a week, you know, they can get a half of order of groceries for free or a month, whatever. And singularly, like just being internal Walmart only, would kind of work, but where I think it would totally go wild is if it is a total reward system that encompasses all different kinds of vendors. And so you're getting, whether it's 1 or 1,000 of these tokens, these stable coins, whatever they are, they may fluctuate in value even, but you get them for free. And that's one of the things where I think the blockchain, and I'm going on this long tangent, but that's one area where people are missing. They're trying to make their own crypto instead of taking advantage of the blockchain technology. That's a long way to go to get to what I wanted to say.
No, it's a good thinking though. So the overall conclusion of today is buy Walmart stock before before they launch anything interesting. So
or the other conclusion is sell Facebook stock.
Right.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Today is a good day. Eh?
Alan, you got to adjust your camera, man. With that background, you look like a floating head.
So I think that's good for Facebook. I mean, we've spent enough time on Mark. So just before we actually wrap it up, we didn't actually talk about what I actually wanted to talk, which is, are we looking at a bullish or bearish Christmas? And just before you actually answer that question, it was November 12th. Just kidding. No. November 22nd, Bitcoin, November 22nd, 2017, Bitcoin was sitting at $8,000. By December 19th, Bitcoin was sitting at $19,000. You know, the good old days. You guys remember those days? And they were good days. So my question is, Bitcoin today, it is October 23rd. I mean, we're still a couple months before Christmas, but are we looking at a bearish Christmas or bullish Christmas? And make it quick. Dennis.
Bull. I'm all for going up. I don't know if it will, but I'm for the bulls.
Meredith.
I think it'll probably hit around 5 before it starts going back up again.
But it will go back up again. How up?
I think it'll definitely hit, I'm going to say 15. I don't think it's going to hit quite 20.
Matt?
Oh, man, y'all going to hate me because I think we're going the other way. I think we'll actually continue to drop. And I think around Christmas, we'll probably be right here where we're sitting because it'll come back. It'll start coming back up before Christmas. So I think we're going to be between the $5,000 and $7,000 range. I think we're going to be staying about even.
And Alan?
Right, yeah, I think we're going to be, it's going to dip a little bit, but I think we should come back to our regular levels of 8K, 7K. And then we should see, yeah, yep. It's going to be flat for the most part. Yeah.
So just for I think the bullish people are just trying to be happy people and, they want to have a happy Christmas. But for the bearish people here, is there a reason why you guys think it's going to go down?
I think the news cycle is helping to push it down right now. Okay. But I think the whales are probably taking advantage of that and helping to push it down so that they can scoop it up and then the price will shoot back up. But that's my thinking.
Good point.
Okay.
I'm thinking a lot of the uncertainty in the market with regulation. You got the SEC coming around. People are wondering what is going to happen tomorrow with this. Trump has already proven that he can manipulate the markets with just a word. And so he comes out and says anything positive about crypto, it could go up. He says negative, it's going to go down. And I just think all the uncertainty right now is keeping new people from coming in and keeping old people speculating too much.
Yeah, so I'm not seeing the reason why I'm thinking that it's going to stay flat or we're going to head a little bit more down is because I'm not seeing any big news pieces that or new events or situations that are going to attract more people and increase speculation or trading or activity, unless we think that the different issues around the world, like Hong Kong, Chile, France, and a variety of other places that are going through some sort of political turmoil, they're going to start using BTC as a safe haven. Unless that's going to be a big trigger, I don't see any other positive catalysts at the current moment.
I'm still waiting for Brexit to kick in and see how BTC reacts.
Right.
I think that's going to be an interesting one.
Right. So across the world, we're seeing political turmoil and all these different situations that will contribute toward flight to safety via gold, USD, and potentially BTC. So they're catalysts, but we're seeing a decline as opposed to a general decline in BTC as opposed to a uptrend, right? So that's my view on why we should either stay flat or we should decline a bit more prior to, because look, like BACT launched their futures, CFTC, and other situations didn't really, there wasn't significant demand. We're seeing some demand, but BACT is still fairly flat. We have, it's a pretty big accomplishment. We have Bitcoin settled futures, but even then, people aren't really biting and speculating with these other things. But there's progress. You're seeing progress in infrastructure. More like Morgan Creek Digital just raised more funds for their blockchain fund. So there's people who are now slowly moving into the sector, but are you seeing it as much from a retail side or from an institutional side? Even Fidelity just they're in the process of finally launching their digital assets division for institutional custody and whatnot. But are we seeing that the herd coming like Mike Novogratz or other people say? Not yet. That's probably going to happen next year. So,
hopefully.
Yeah. So that's why I think Christmas, we're either flat or down.
Dennis, Meredith, I think, according to Alan, you're going to have a nasty Christmas this year. But...
Okay.
I don't do Christmas anyway.
I just had
guys.
a thought real quick before I let you guys go. What if Zuckerberg just says, screw it, I'm not doing Libra, I'm just gonna incorporate Bitcoin into Facebook? What would happen?
Oh man,
that's unlikely. They would have already. Why didn't they do any initiatives like that from the start?
Well, what if he's pushed that way? I think is what Tony's saying is, what if all these regulators and stuff getting on his butt, he just finally says, okay, screw it, we're just going to integrate
Bitcoin. If they just integrate Bitcoin or even any altcoin, they would literally accomplish what they're trying to do, right? It's just the fact that they want to use their own coin.
Right.
So what if they just do, they could just be like, screw it, okay, you're not letting me do Libra, I'm just going to use Bitcoin. What would happen? Like, would Congress just be like start freaking out and just totally try to ban Bitcoin, even though they can't ban Bitcoin?
I think they would try to start throwing out regulations, anything that they could to do oversight. They would probably create a whole new committee, a Bitcoin committee, and keep everybody in Congress testifying.
Do you know what Zuckerberg needs to do if he wants Libra approved by Congress? He needs to push for Bitcoin. He can't regulate Bitcoin. He can't control who uses Bitcoin. He can't do any sort of KYC. If he threatens to use Bitcoin, Congress is going to love Libra.
That's just
I don't know. I don't think he's that brave. Guys, I've got to go. It was fun. Enjoyed it. Looking forward to the next one. And
how often are we going to do these?
We should try to do them once a week or bi-weekly or something. We'll talk about it.
Every couple of weeks, I think.
I would say every 2 weeks, maybe.
Yeah. Next one, just so you know, next one is definitely going to be gold versus Bitcoin. Just so you know, it's 100% going to be that.
Awesome.
Okay, guys.
I'm doing an in-depth article on it. Bye, guys.
Thank you, guys. Till the next time.
Thank you all.